Hello, hello. So I find it interesting the more I look around and see how relationships are. There's a lot of divorces and breakups happening. And I think it's important for us to kind of look into why this is. And I don't think it's because of people failing at relationships. I see this evolution happening because of this rising feminine awakening happening. There's a lot of alchemy within the feminine energy that's happening because of feminine wounds of our past. And as these are rising, it's awakening something within us. It's awakening a clarity of a stronger sense of ourselves as we work through these energies, because we're becoming more grounded as we are cleansing these energies from our body. So, this awakening process is individual and collective, but from my experience, I've seen so many women in particular ending relationships that have been long standing. Um, 5, 10, 15, 20 years marriages or relationships ending because this feminine is finally rising up and she's gaining confidence, awareness. She's healing past traumas. Again, in our personal life, in our ancestral lineage, and within collective energies. The witch wound is an example of like a collective energy that is being resolved or alchemized. And as we undergo this evolution, it's a DNA, it's an energetic evolution process that we are each going through. And as we expand within ourselves, alchemize our wounds, and step into a stronger sense of self, we become more grounded and embodied in who we are. And when we do that, we have different expectations for relationships. We have a higher value for ourselves. We may have a different path unfolding for ourselves, which creates a diffusion of the current relationship you have, is the separation, and you no longer are compatible. That's what I experienced in my marriage. It's just a different direction in life, different people. And it can be a beautiful thing when we come to understand that and accept it and not see it as a failure. Because I don't think it's that relationships are failing. I actually think that it's the opposite. I think that people are waking up more and more to a stronger sense of who they are. They are healing through wounds of their own past, and we're clearing and cleansing energetic wounds of our collective and our ancestry. And with that becomes a more embodied individual. We are becoming more grounded, stable, self driven. We're coming back to our own sense of self and becoming more confident in our intuitive wisdom. So that's a big aspect of the feminine white rising, this feminine awakening, is that intuitive wisdom and guidance that we have within us that connects us to the divine. And with that, it guides us in a different direction than maybe we've been going on. And we no longer live in kind of a numbed down state of being. We're finally rising out of that. So when we see those relationships dissolve, let's take from it what we're learning. what is it really that caused that separation and caused it to dissolve? Is it something that was bad on both sides? I mean, the root of an actual breakup is much different than how it manifests on the surface. So even if one partner cheats, for instance, there's usually something much deeper there that needs to be addressed by the person who cheats, or both, really. And incompatibility present, or someone who is refusing to face their own individual wounds and traumas. And then that's where the separation happens. But we're now entering an era where transactional relationships and relationships created out of obligation are inferior. They are no longer holding the way that they used to. Marriage used to be just a contract of obligation. A father's basically selling off his daughter, or a woman marrying to get stability because she has nothing else and wants a family. We're evolving beyond that. There's this divine union in our consciousness now that we're wanting more. We're ready for more in partnership. And that is this beauty that we're seeing within the alchemy of the feminine and this union coming together of masculine and feminine. So I'm curious to know what you've seen in terms of relationships, what you've experienced, if you see something similar. I feel the feminine is a really strong leader at this time in terms of how we are healing and what's happening individually and collectively. And I made a reel about this recently too, just the other day, that I see the feminine as a strong leader in this awakening movement. And I see it in relationships because women are often the ones who are taking the step toward ending a relationship. And that is not because they're giving up. It is because they are finally coming into a stronger sense of themselves and know that they're wanting more, or they are of more value than what they're receiving in that partnership, or coming to the acceptance that that partner they're with is never going to be able to meet them where they are, or isn't evolving alongside them. So I'm curious to see where this goes next, but it's been a powerful several years of awakening. And I noticed it a while back that it definitely felt like this feminine rising, this feminine awakening, because I feel it among women and mothers very prominently. So have a great Thursday.